Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and this is the ace match, not the ace match, it's the final match of this MST Group 11. It's going to be a rematch of the second set. It's going to be Hero versus Best. Hero taking the last game with some 3-hatch pressure, not 3-hatch all-in Hydra, but 3-hatch pressure Hydra, and was able to win just based off of that. Best had pretty much nothing on the ground and was unable to defend and fell. And but then, Hero struggled against Han. Han did a very, very good job of dictating play with a nice DT harassment where I'm getting there, I'm all confused. Where Hero really wasn't paying proper attention and wasn't able to defend against the DT and storm harassment, and really Han took it to him. We'll see if Best is able to take something from that playbook. And then Best came out and beat Baby in what was kind of a weird game, in that Baby went for nukes, never even attempted to launch a nuke, and then didn't have any units and died when he I think he should have won that game. So really weird game there. In the losers match, Baby getting knocked out and Best advancing here onto Triathlon to play Hero. And this should be an interesting one. We got Hero spawning in the bottom right, the teal Zerg, Best on the left side of the map in white, the white Protoss. Looks like Best is actually, this is one of those maps that has not one of those maps, this is the map that has the Arbiter cloaking Lurker eggs for a lot of the expansions. So you do have a protected expansion that you can go take. It's hard to defend because you can't get to it with regular units very easily, but you can take it pretty quickly, and that is what Best is going to do here. He is going to go 1 gate Expo. Personally, I hate this build. I've seen it fail on several occasions. 1 gate Expo and taking that back expansion. That back expansion is, one, difficult to defend, and on top of it, the 1 gateway just doesn't give you enough units to really get your natural expansion, your normal natural expansion, very easily. And I've seen a lot of players struggle with map awareness, map control, and really fall to Zerg players going for this kind of a build. So I personally don't like it. There are obvious strengths to this. Obviously, you get the base up even faster than you would with Forge Expand, but I personally don't think it's as strong of a build as many others do. I think a lot of people like the build. I personally just simply do not, and think that you sacrifice too much map presence. I really think that map presence is so important in the game today that sacrificing as much as you really do is it's too much to pay for that somewhat faster expansion. We have been watching the first-person view for both these players. I think Best just scouted out the 12-hatch that Hero was going for. Maybe it wasn't a 12-hatch, I wasn't completely paying attention. But anyway, scouting the hatchery, going down at the natural expansion, and probably going to be throwing down his own Nexus very, very shortly. I actually kind of like this watching both players' first-person views at the same time. It's pretty cool. I think it'll be difficult to watch in the later stages of the game. I think I might fall down and start shaking a lot, even though I don't have epilepsy. And I really hope no one gets offended that I made an epileptic joke. I have a really close friend that has epilepsy, and I always make fun of him. And sounds insensitive or whatever, but we make fun of him a lot. It's a joke. It's a running joke, and so I make epileptic jokes sometimes, not meaning to be offensive, so hopefully no one's offended. Just realize that people can sometimes be touchy about that sort of thing, so hopefully no one minds too much and at least understands that it's just a joke. But yeah, there's my epilepsy joke for the day. And yeah, Nexus is going up for Best there at his back expansion, getting a Cybernetic score as well. So probably going to see some Stargate and some Corsairs after this. And I hope he doesn't try to just play the standard. Like, you can't just simply play the standard. Taking your natural expansion can sometimes just be too difficult if you just play it too standard. But we will see. And this Zealot has just been circling around, hasn't done anything, just circling around in circles and circles before finally getting slowly picked off by Zerglings. But it did its job in that it kept Zerglings away from him, and that let him get up another 2 or 3 Zealots on his ramp to defend. And this Nexus is up, and he is now mining. See if he goes for a second gas. I think we will be seeing a second gas pretty quickly. A Forge going up now, so that we can get some cannons there at his back expo. Really going to need to get a couple cannons there. Otherwise, so susceptible to drop, so susceptible to just a couple of Mutalisk. Honestly, one Mutalisk will completely stop mining at that base if there aren't cannons there. It's so hard to get to until Protoss gets a Reaver or DTs and blows up some of those eggs, so that way he can move units back there. And Best actually throwing down a cannon at his ramp Looks like Best is not going to play this completely standard. I have a feeling this is going to be some kind of a maybe a dual Stargate build or something a little bit more defensive, because you wouldn't normally see a cannon there if he was going to go and take his natural expansion. I think he would try and save the money. It's a little bit more risky, but I think he would try and save the money and try and get that cannon down in his natural expansion itself. Try and throw down the pylon down there, try and throw down a few cannons and take his natural explode that way. At least that would be my suspicion. So if he was going for more of a, if he was trying to take his natural expansion sooner. So I think this is going to be more of a Corsair heavy build. Going to try and take some map control with those Corsairs, try and pop some Overlords, and proceed into the game from there. Maybe even go with a little bit of a Sair DT, which would be pretty cool. And the DTs would be very, very cool, because if you look at the bases that now Zerg is taking, Zerg is now taking the base at the 6 o'clock position. To get to that base, you either need dropships, Reavers, Lurkers, or DTs to smash through those eggs. I mean, you can break through those eggs slowly with Zealots and Dragoons, but it is slow going and kind of obnoxious. And, oh, Best losing that first Corsair to Scourge. Those Scourge really catching it. That sucks for him. That's unfortunate. We are seeing Best first-person point of view at the bottom while watching the main screen at the top. Looks like Best is, yeah, this actually kind of, wow. That really throws you in for a loop when, like, the main screen and the first-person point of view is looking at the same thing. That was like, what am I even looking at? 2 Stargates coming up here, and a Photon Cannon needs to warp in here to defend it against the Scourge. And, yeah, it does look like those Scourge are not going to have any chance of popping that Corsair. 2 Stargates are coming up, a couple creep colonies coming up at the natural expansion as well for defensive purposes. I think we'll probably see one or both of those turn into a Spore colony to help him defend, and I think we should also be seeing speed upgraded on the Overlords pretty quickly. Oh, that Corsair is about as lucky as they get. That Corsair should have died, but only one of those 2 Scourge actually auto-attacked it. And the Corsair checking that back expo, wanted to make sure, see if there was another base going up. Seeing that it's going up at the top right, and that's an interesting base to take as well. I think that also has to hop through some Lurker eggs, but once again, it looks like he's just trying to save, Hero is just trying to save that back expo for when he needs it. If you can take a couple other bases earlier on, you know, you get to a point in the game where sometimes it's hard to take a 4th or a 5th base. But you know what? When you have that back expo, it's always like that 8th in the hole. I can always throw down, if I need an extra hatchery, I can just throw it down there and produce air. Just that'll be my Scourge producing an Overlord producing hatchery, or you just throw it down there and that'll be his new base if he ever needs it. So kind of an interesting choice there. If he loses one of these other bases, he could go for go take that as a replacement. So it's a little bit different, but I actually think it's kind of cool. And a bunch of Corsairs are out. I think it's only 3. I don't think he has the 5 or 6. No, it looks like actually, yeah, it does look like he has 4 or 5. So he should be able to deal with Scourge, particularly if he gets +1. Yes, he does have +1, so should be able to deal with Scourge pretty easily here. Could also blow up some Arbiters if he so chooses. That Corsair taking 1 hit, but is going to survive, picking off a couple of Overlords here. Hive is being morphed right now, and these Corsairs are just marauding around. Yeah, both of those actually became Spore colonies at the natural expansion, so 2 Spore colonies coming up in order to play defense, and these Corsairs coming to the bottom of the map, seeing that there is a base here, going like, really? Really, Hero? You're going to take that many bases in that wide of an area? You are asking for trouble, and I think Beth could try and take advantage of that and hit different locations. Send maybe a few Zealots to the top right, get a DT drop going down at the bottom, something like that. Something that's taking advantage of different locations, and really put on some nice pressure. And oh wow, here comes a shuttle. I hope it's DTs. I really hope I called it. Oh no, it's Zealots. Zealots being dropped in, but only 2 Zealots get dropped, but that's enough. And of course, Corsair's coming in here, picking off a lot of Scourge, and going to go for the Overlords. Picking off tons of Overlords, sitting above those Spore colonies. If they're doing so much damage, they are +1 upgrades, so they are tearing through these Overlords. And those Overlords have +1 Carapace. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but that is +1 Carapace on the air units of Zerg. What a crazy idea there. A couple Zealots there at the bottom are not going to be able to stop all of those, or sorry,